everybody. Can you hear me? Are you all excited to be here? As excited as me? Excellent. My name is Jo Rose of jorose.com, and I want to help you understand you were born an original. Let's not die a copy. So I'm starting with who am I? And this is a question that we're all often answered. So who am I? I'm a woman, a daughter, a sister, an adult, all these things. And that's what normally we would say. Excuse my voice, I've been talking over the mics for the last 2 days. At the core, you might think, oh, I'm a human. That's what I really am. Well, just hold that thought, because that's what we're showing up as at the moment, the human. And we often introduce ourselves under these contexts. Why do we do this? Everything we do in life works from love or fear. Anyone understand what fear means? Any ideas? Fear stands for false evidence appearing real. We're spending too much time in our head and not enough time in our heart. I want you to understand that where the core of you lies is in your heart. And if a fear comes up and it's preventing you from moving forward, it's time to go deep into the heart and understand what's going on. So we need to first learn to balance this, and then we need to turn it around. Understand our fears so they empower us. From my understanding, and as a numerologist, as you've seen, that's what I do, is when we understand what is going on, what our challenges are, we need to understand better that that's what our opportunities are. So no longer look at your challenges as challenges, but an opportunity waiting to happen. If you think of the recession, more millionaires are made in a recession than any other time because they're looking for the opportunities. How can you show up better after all? It's your life, LYFE. Love yourself first every day. Louise Hay taught me that this was the most important thing, was to love myself. Therefore, I stopped looking for validation in anybody else. And that's what you need to do, is stop looking to live the life other people have set for you and to start living the life that you've created. Before you arrived on this planet, you created your destiny. And I've looked in the past at great geniuses, whether it be Einstein or, say, Adele, or anybody in the entertainment history or the academic history. Their numbers show that they've literally followed their numbers, but that's where their genius has come. When you follow your numbers, your genius will come through. So who am I at the core? And I want you to ask yourself this. When I understood numerology and I understood I was no longer this person that society had helped me create, I began to discover that I was more than just a name. I was a visionary, an idealistic, dedicated, creative, intuitive. When I added another part of my numerology, I discovered that really I was passionate and I had fun inside. I'm friendly, curious, and inspirational. When I added my heart's numbers to it, I discovered I was also courageous, original, independent, a pioneer, and innovative. I'm a 22/4 life path, and I'm here to turn dreams into reality. Every number has a power, it's energy. At the core of that, I'm a soul. And so we are a soul having a human experience. Her soul is whole and complete. It doesn't need anything else. But as a human, we've come here, as a soul in a human body, to experience relationships. And that's where most of the challenges lie, within the relationships. How many of you have been in a relationship and you often say to your partner, I love you? Have you ever said to anybody, I love you? No. I want you to change this. Because if you say, I love you, you're actually disempowering the relationship. So when you say, I love us, all of a sudden you are united. You've become together and you're moving forward. So whether it's the chores that you're doing or the career paths you're taking, when you understand it's for us, it makes more sense to connect and serve one another. So if nothing else today, you go home, I want you to change the way you connect with your partners and share I love us. And it really feels empowering. So why are we here? 3 things. Purpose, mission, vision. Has anybody often wondered what any of these are? Ever thought about what's your purpose in life? I want to tell you, the purpose is the easiest thing. Most people are looking under the bushes, the stones, they're asking questions over and over and over. Your purpose is simple. It's about love for yourself and love for everything you do. It's about being fulfilled in everything you do and being grateful and having gratitude. The more open you are, the more you're allowing things in. If you find that you're often sitting like this, you're not taking things in. When you're like this, your heart is opened and you're channeled to receive everything you need. Follow your map. Numerology tells me that you have a map and a guidebook. This is yours. Stop following everybody else's plan for you, because while you're doing that, who's living your path? It's going to waste. Listen to your heart. Trust your heart. Your heart knows, it's connected to your soul. Follow your sat-nav. What do you think about your emotions? Do they get in the way? They are the guiding factors. They are your compass. When you follow this procedure and own your purpose, you will begin to shine bigger, bolder, brighter, better. I know by living on my purpose, I stand out just by being me. Could you imagine standing out just by being you? And it's all about loving you and loving your purpose. So all your purpose is to be fulfilled every day. Can you do that? That's simple, isn't it, really? So let's move on to the mission. So your mission is to be a beacon of light. Our mission is to serve. But we cannot serve until we're first fulfilled. How many taken an aeroplane flight and heard them say, put your oxygen mask on first? Yes? Well, you have to do that because you can't look after anybody else till you do. And this is the same in life. Put your oxygen mask on first and then ask, how can I best support? This is coming from you. You've been born with gifts and traits and skills to serve your path and your purpose for your soul's growth. Your soul has come here to be enlightened with human connection. At the end of the day, all you're really wanting to do is to raise the vibration of love. And love will cure everything. Does that make sense? I'm seeing a few nods here. Good. What you're doing is, by doing this, you're creating a teamwork around you. When you vibrate, people begin to say, wow, what are you doing? I want a bit of that. Share with me. And you're attracting more people in, and you're making a ripple effect. So your purpose is to be fulfilled. Your mission is to serve. How you do this is your vision. So how I help people, this is my vision, is to channel, support, teach, and inspire others to be their authentic self. I mentor and reconnect misguided individuals and awakening souls to their map and their destiny. To orchestrate realignment of mind, body, and soul of the people who believe there's more. Have you come to a point in life when you believe there must be more? Excellent. By you following this process, you will be raising raising the vibration of love in humanity. And this is how we're going to create a better place for our children and our grandchildren and their children and so on. Because if we don't make this change now, in this very important year, which I'm going to explain in a moment, what are we leaving behind for the future generations? So is now the time to live your best life ever. Remember, it's your life, L-Y-F-E. I help misguided or misfits. Anyone feel they've been misguided or misfit in here? Show me, raise your hands. Excellent. What about this one? Square peg, round hole syndrome. Does that resonate with anybody? Yes? Or are you at this point? Are you an awakening being? Fabulous. So I've pretty much covered everybody in here. So what I've come to understand of my own journey is that we get off path when we've got ill health or dis-ease. And the clue lies in this dis-ease. Everything is energy, and numerology is all about energy. And if you've got a dis-ease, you've got a blocked energy system in your body. Your emotions are your sat-nav. And what happens is, how many people have ever said, in hindsight, I should have or would have? Young man, you're very forward, aren't you? When we understand this system, we'll understand that hindsight will be a thing of the past. I want to give you foresight. If you don't listen to your emotions, it's like a pebble, a pebble, a pebble, and bang, a bus. That's when you get sick. The clue lies in the numerology. This is the path that you've come to live by. Who's seen this show? Amazing, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. Do you know what I love about this show is every one of these were misfits. They were unique. They weren't understood. And they were hiding away until Barnum brought them together and showed them how they could be great in their unique way. Each one of you in this room is unique. Would you like to really live a life where you felt like you didn't have to wear a mask and you could just be you? The outcome of this movie was empowering. And what I love here is where Zelda is wearing this butterfly dress. It literally is a transformation. And that's what we're doing at the moment. We're going through a life transformation. The world is awakening. This movie had social standings, challenges, cultural challenges. It had just everybody was unique, and even down to the young ballerina here who was taken the mick out and said that she smelt of peanuts because she come from poverty, and yet she was probably richer than any of those from the family that she was raised in. So I'm challenging you right now to consider this, and I'd like you to just close your eyes for a minute as I'd like to read this to you. It's called The Dash by Linda Ellis. I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on the tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of birth and spoke the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between the years. For that dash represents all the time that they spent alive on earth. And now only those who love them know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that can still be rearranged. If we could just slow down enough to consider what's true and real, and always do your best to understand the way that others feel, and be less quick to anger, and show appreciation more, and love the people in our life like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect, and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a while. So when your eulogy is being read, with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say and how you spent your dash? I'd like you to just sit with that for a moment and pass through your life and ask if you've really done everything you need to do, or is now the time to change. I had a massive wake-up call when I really understand numerology, because I'd been attempting to fit in over and over. And I did my eat, pray moment where I fell on the kitchen floor, not knowing what I should be doing. And until the tears finally stopped coming and the silence fell, the answers began to come. I'm here to teach people how to honor themselves and love their life, to be true to their authentic self. And when I went to Samos and discovered that this is the place Pythagoras was born, I now know that this is the place that I will be running retreats at, if not this year, next year. If we don't have big dreams, we don't know where we're going. And it's the big dreams that take us forward with the little steps in between. So how am I going to get to these retreats in this amazing place? I have to do a process and understand my numbers. Every year we have a number, and they keep coming up again and again. One number that comes up over and over is this. How many of you see 1111? A lot of people. I have a video. I'm a YouTuber now. My kids are embarrassed that I do this, but I have started to create some YouTube videos, and I have a video on my YouTube channel about 1111. 1111 is a number of awakening. I always say, look at the 11. It's 2 ones. Beam me up, Scotty. Have we got any Star Trekkers here? Having a little giggle over the back. This is Beam Me Up, Scotty. We are connected to Source when we are grounded and we are owning ourselves. This 1111 is a number of illumination. Whatever you were thinking beforehand, 1111 is confirming that you need to take action on this. Please check this video out. This year is an 11 year from a numerology perspective. This is telling you this is the year of magical manifestation. There is nothing you cannot achieve this year. Exactly, nothing, providing you are in alignment with yourself. This is how you would work it out. So 2018 adds to 11. 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 8 equals 11. I would like you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and go watch this video. It will tell you what's lining up. This is a year of collaboration, relationships, partnerships, harmony, cooperation. It's also a year of patience and observation. The last 3 years have been very fast, and this year is a slower year. Have you noticed there's been a change in things going on? We're in a 2 millennium, and it's a very feminine energy. We were in a 1 millennium, but now we're in which was very masculine. It was about me, myself, and I. I fight for my land, my castle, my home, and it was very salesy. If any of you are in business, this millennium, and specifically this year, and it will come around every 9 years, is a 2 energy or an 11-2 energy. If you want to be successful in anything, firstly, it's the relationship with yourself. Then it's the relationship with other people, the relationship with your job, the relationship with your health that's going to give you the success that you need. Make a note of this because it's an amazing year. Here's my YouTube channel. So it's youtube.com/Joe Rose with the slashes in between. So my videos are quite entertaining. I just please myself. It's the fun part coming out. Why do I do what I do? I've explained to you that energy creates stuckness in your body. And have you noticed that more people are suffering from illnesses and chronic illnesses? And they might start just with a headache or not knowing what to do, but they will grow into things that you'll end up taking drugs or medication for. Depression comes in, Alzheimer's. And I don't know about you, but I know a number of people that have suffered and passed from various diseases, whether it be Alzheimer's, cancer, and so on. This is stuck, blocked energy that we're not dealing with. And it means a lot to me to give back health to people. When we live in alignment with our numbers and we're in flow, we're not going against energy, we're not creating this stuck energy. Why did this hit me? Because my wake-up call is I have got every autoimmune challenge possible. And yet, I've wiped lupus off my list. Autoimmune challenges are not curable. But if you start working and living in alignment with your numbers, then you can start eradicating some of these illnesses. And I no longer have lupus, and I'm working my way through it. So bear in mind that just by living your true, heartfelt, passionate destiny, you will no longer be as sick or have illnesses. So what are the hard facts about all of this? Firstly, I want to tell you, you wrote the map for your life. We can't blame anyone else. You chose your name, you chose your date of birth. You have the compass. Your emotions are always telling you. If something didn't feel right, it wasn't right. Please pay attention. You have access to everything you need. When you ground yourself, whether it's meditation, and you can ground yourself by doing a puzzle, a colouring, gardening, cooking, anything that brings you into the moment will ground yourself. Then start asking your questions. What do I need to know? Beam me up, Scotty. Bring this information down. You are a genius waiting to hatch. I've already explained this to you. When you follow your numbers, and I've wrote a few articles, whether it be on David Bowie or Adele, they've literally, you can see how their lives were very diverse, but they followed their numbers. And David Bowie created himself over and over and over, but his numbers showed him that's what he needed to do. You have an abundant future aligned, but there's only one person holding you back, and it's not your family. It's you. When you want to be you, when you want to say enough's enough, you can turn this around. As I said, square peg round hole's not working anymore, and if we don't start stepping up for ourselves, there's not going to be a planet left for our children. So what are the missing links? Finding yourself a numerology teacher. Ta-da. Or an awesome mentor. Ta-da. You don't have to look too far. Here I am. And one more thing. You're chasing the wrong gold. If you chase money, that's all you're ever going to do is chase money. Have you ever looked at money? It's an IOU. Did anybody know that it's an IOU? I didn't actually know it was an IOU, but it says on there, I promise to pay the bearer the sum of. The gold that you should be chasing is what you're passionate about and what you love. Because when you do that, you naturally attract it over and over. So I'm asking you for the second thing you take away today is don't have money as your fear of not doing anything, or your money is the reason of doing something. When your goal is bigger than the money will come. And I'm living example. These are just brief pictures, and come to my stand and we'll explain more. When I said to you, I was a mother, daughter, etc., and I'm more, each number has various energies, and this is just a tiny example of them. But if you're on a life path 1, or you're on a year 1, or you've got a heart desire 1, then this is a part of who you are. Could you imagine saying, I'm a leader? I didn't think I was a leader. I really didn't, and I would back down. But every so often, I'd want to step up and take a leadership role. Well, that's because this is my heart's desire number, a 1. So we have a 2, which is the peacemaker. I'm just going to briefly go through these quickly. So we have the self-expressive. I have a video on YouTube called Numerology and the Apple Tree. So the 1 energy is about the seed that needs to be planted. And in a 1 year, we need to plant several seeds because they don't always take. A 2 year is a slow year because it's about patience and nurturing, and we don't always see what's going on. The 3 year is where that seed shoots through the soil, and it's like, here I am, look at me. Well, think about yourself. That's where you've got to be coming through. If you're in a 3 year or you've got a 3 in your numbers, come on, guys. Stand up and be you. Because this path has been set for you, and when you start living this, you'll see everything that comes forward. With numerology in the apple tree, we're talking about roots. This is the roots we don't see, but without the foundations, we cannot be strong. And all trees have got good foundations underneath them. The 5 is the blossom on the tree. This is kind of the vibrant, the bit that attracts. The 5 energy on a negative basis is very much the addictive number, sex, drugs, rock and roll. It's also the number of the non-commitment. The only thing that's stable about a 5 energy is change. So 5 energy is at a 180-degree change. The 6 energy, if we're back to the apple tree, this is where the bees come along and pollinate. This is about family, community, and caregiving. We'll find that if we've got these numbers, we could end up being careers arranged around these numbers. The 7 energy is the thinker. This is Pythagoras and where he comes from. It's about the analytical and the intelligence and inquisitive. You might find that you could actually be a detective, or you're very clever at working out what people are saying. This is the scholar number. This is the genius number. The 8 is the number of a CEO and business, and this is where money comes in. Yes, this is a money number, but this number will make or lose endless amount of monies. The best way this number makes money is to bring people up. A CEO needs to bring people up with them to make the business good. If they don't, the business is going to fail. And the 9 is the humanitarian number. It's interesting, my daughter is a 9 life path, and she's studying graphic designs, and I said to her, for you to be successful, you'll become a humanitarian. And she's like, no, Mum, fashion, makeup, etc., etc. Every project that she's got top marks on has been a humanitarian. And she made me laugh at Christmas when she come home. I said, what's on your Christmas list? She went, stainless steel straws. And she went, don't, Mum. I know the environment. I did a plastic project. And so she will be successful in her career as long as she focuses on this topic. And it's proven in her results at school. So what do when I work with people is I teach you how to balance your number. We do everything from love or fear. And so when I work on a monthly basis and I run a mentorship program, we look at what energy is coming up for you and how to balance it. We will look at what the fears are. So this is an example of the one. So the one is saying that you could be self-centered and controlling and impatient on a negative level. So we have to understand why we are like this and work on it, and then balance it with some of the strengths of leadership, being decisive and courageous. The chances are we're not, because somewhere in life somebody has pulled this back from us. So I run workshops and mentorship programs, and this is just some photographs of them. This was a 12-month program called Foundations for Life, and this is a vision board workshop. And I've got some fab testimonials out there of what's going on. When you create your vision based around your numbers, and this was based around their numerology, and they're putting their boards together on the colours of their numerology because I wanted to ground them to the year they're in. And when they've put their boards together, it's in alignment with their numbers. And instead of just going home with a picture board, they're going home with a dream that pulls them in every day. Here's some more pictures of the retreats. Now, someone told me I couldn't run retreats, and I said I was going to run them in my home. Everything I'm doing, if you remember my moment of my Eat, Pray, Love and my workshops that I wanted to run in Greece, because that's where Pythagoras was born, and they said you couldn't do this. And I was at this point where I listened to everyone, oh, it's my home, I've got a family, I can't do this. And I almost didn't do it. And then I went to a meditation, and somebody said, hey, Dan, how's your Airbnb doing? Now, if you tell the universe you want to do something, the information comes. If you want to do something, you may think, first of all, I've got to have the money or the education, and I want to say no. So what happened was, I thought, what's this Airbnb? And so I investigated it and discovered that Airbnb was a place where you could rent a whole house or your family home. And this worked for me while my kids were at uni, because I could rent their room out while they were away and have it back when they came home. And so I've started to run, outside the workshops and retreats, at my Airbnb. And here's showing you just some of the environment. And I used my Airbnb as an example of how I could help heal people. My profile is telling them exactly what I do. So when they come to me, they're already in alignment with the type of place they're staying, and they ask me questions. So I'm not even full-blown marketing. I'm just being me, offering this loving place and attracting the clients that are best suited to work for me. I absolutely love what I do, because in my life I've been rejected over and over and over, and I've needed to understand why. And that was because I was playing too small and I was rejecting me. So the more I learned about loving myself, the more vibrant I became, the easier it's becoming to spread my message. I'm offering here at this retreat, the event, The Best You, a 3-day deep dive retreat, which is a quick way to find out as much as possible that I can share with you that will allow you, if you're looking to align yourself with your life and your career right now, because we are, after all, talking under passion to profit, aren't we? So it's a 3-day retreat. It starts mid to late afternoon on day 1, and we'll come along, it'll be getting to know you, there'll be a crystal healing. Outside that, there's an opportunity the next day to do a zip wire fly, take a leap of faith, time to find out who it is, your numerology, and create your vision board. Day 3, we're going to carry on with the vision board because we've done the research on it, and now we're going to really own what it is that you're doing. And on day 4, we're going to release. Over this period of time, we will have talked about your career path, and what's important, your relationships, your health, your well-being. The crystals I use, I have cured sprained ankles on myself, repairs from operation, and my cat's never been to the vet since I've been using these specific crystals. So I'm very much about bringing the light back into you. The price is normally 1,497, and here I'm offering it for £1,097. To spend this time with me and take all the information that you need to own you, I feel that you'll leave really aligned for this year. And I've already said this year is an 11-2. And I just want to give a little example now with somebody, if they want to do this in the audience, is find out what personal year you're on and how you can go watch your video and find out how it will work for you or what your life path is. So who wants to find out? Okay. So you're happy to share your date of birth, are you? Yes. 6th of 5th, 1995. 1995. Everything I do is simple and it's broken down very easily. Nothing I do is complicated because you know what? Life is simple, but we've just made it complicated. Because this is a 6, it stays as a 6. Because this is a 5, it stays at a 5. They're single digits, they stay single. In numerology, we reduce everything down unless it's a master number. So now, I used to think I loved maths at school, but I realise I don't. I love numbers, so I might get my adding up a bit wrong. So if I do, please help me. So 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 9 is 19, plus 5 is 24. Okay. This is still not a single digit number, so now we would take this down and we would normally write it like this. So if ever you're looking at numerology and you see it with this dash in, while, what's your name, lovely? Chloe. While Chloe is on a life path 6, she's made up from a 24. So there could be several life path 6s here, but they'll be made up in a different combination. It could be a 1-5. It could be a, what else adds up to 6? I can't think right now. But other numbers that add up to 6, I told you I'm not good with maths. So Chloe's on a life path 6. So if I was to go back here, oh, this is probably going to take me a while, isn't it? If I was to go back, Chloe's a caregiver. She's really compassionate. She's a natural healer. And community, family are important to you, would you say?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. You're also very creative and wise. Believe it or not, she's very wise. Now, on a negative trait, Chloe may become meddlesome and want to fix everybody's situations. Oh, and her friends have gasped there. So I've just sussed her out just by knowing something simple. When you own this and you live by this, you get to see what your strengths are. So when you feel like you want to help someone, you can't keep fixing them, Chloe. You've got to let them ask you to come in and help. Okay. So let's just look at Chloe's year. So Chloe this year is going to be, I said this year's an 11 energy. Do you remember that? Yes. So it's an 11 energy. So when we add 6 plus 5 plus 11, okay. When we see 2 digits the same as in the 11, as in the 22, we never reduce them. These are master numbers. These are exceptional, powerful numbers. So Chloe, this year you're in a 22-4. I want to tell you, for you this year, you can turn your dreams into reality. That's what this is saying. The 4, as I mentioned before, the 4 is the very grounding, organised. It's creating the structure. It's the roots. But because she's got the 22, you really need to listen to your intuition because it's going to guide you forward. So I'm just giving a little brief there. How does that sound for you?
Yeah, it sounds amazing. Do you see the numbers around? Would you see the numbers as a sign in some sort of way?
Put your mic up.
In terms of these numbers, would you see them about? Because these girls always see numbers, and I always see the numbers 2, 2, 2.
Okay, excellent question. So if you see numbers regularly, they're telling you something. If you understand the energy of the numbers, and then you either add up the numbers, like a number plate or a telephone number or anything, and you take them down to a single digit, they're saying. If you keep seeing a 5, something's telling you you need to change something 180 degrees. A 5 may say you need to relocate, move abroad, change your job, change your career. So if you keep seeing a number, it's a sign from the universe telling you something. With the numbers, I find it very simple. You know, they say that animals, spiritual animals, they're all telling you something, but that's a lot of information for me to keep. But there's only 9 numbers, so I find it really easy. When I'm looking anywhere for an answer, I will look out for a number. If I want to understand a person, I will add up the numbers in their name. I would then know what type of person I'm dealing with. Can you imagine if you're in a relationship with somebody, and if, say, Chloe was in a relationship with somebody, actually, let's who else wants to do an example? This young man down here, can we pass the mic to him, please? Not that I'm going to marry the pair of you off, but I just want to show you something here.
11, 12, 70.
Sorry?
11, 12, 70.
So, what's your name?
Andrew?
Andrew. 11, 12, 1970.
Yes.
Okay, we're not going to change the 11 because it's a master number. Do we understand that? So 12 is 1 plus 2 is 3, and 1970 is 17. We're going to take the 17 down to a single digit. Any idea what that is?
8.
8. Okay. So 8 plus, 11. I can't even read the numbers now. 11 plus 8 is 19, 20, 21, 22. Does that add up to 22?
Yes.
Okay. So you're on a master path. You're here to turn dreams into reality. That's your path. Now, when you've got a master path number, it's a really hard number to live by, and you need to be grounded first in the 4 energy. So you would have been working hard, constantly be doing things, and maybe hit many challenges. But really, you need to start as you get, and if you're not there, or you're there now, you've got a double 2 that makes you highly sensitive, an empath. You're energetically connected to so many things. This is the relationship building numbers of the 2. So this number breaks down to a 4 as a life path, and Chloe's number is a 6. These numbers get on very well because they're even numbers. So you could have a friendship together and would understand one another because they're both even. Doesn't mean odd and even don't work, it's just that they're bringing different things, and so you've got to work a bit harder in your relationship. So if you're struggling with your relationships, understanding your numbers can help. You may have life path numbers that work, but let's look at Andrew's personal year number. So it's 11, 3, 11, because 2018 is 11. So what is this? 22, 23, 24, 25. So Andrew's in a 7 year. So Andrew, I want to say to you, this year really is a very spiritual year for you. You need to be going in and not out. Yeah. You need to validate yourself and not have other people validate you. When you do this, you will 100% get this. And because it's an 11 year, it's a spiritual year anyway. I want to say your whole world is just going to, what's the word? Transform, thank you. Transform for you if you can live in alignment with your numbers. How would you feel if you could live in alignment with your numbers? Is it a spiritual path?
Absolutely.
Okay, and how would it feel?
I'm kind of at a point right now where I'm just trying to work out just exactly my next steps, really. Was that what your question was?
Well, how does it feel what I've said so far?
It feels bang on.
Okay, and so if you wanted to work out your next steps, then please come and talk to me at my stand. Okay. But understanding that you're not just this one number. In Chloe's case, this 6, and in Andrew's case, this 22-4. This is the path. The path is your hardest, toughest lesson that you're here to learn. Everything will be teaching you to step into this path. And the one that makes me laugh the most is the one that's on a 1 path when they say, I'm not a leader. And yet everything in their life has been teaching them to step up and own who they are. And I have a client at the moment who's got 2 6s in her core numbers, and she's got a 1 life path. She's gone from this 6. She's been a mother, a caregiver. That's all she's done. And now she's being stung by everyone, and she's being forced to stand up and own her leadership power. And working together, and I've got a testimonial out there, she said, I used to be fluffy and flimsy, and all I wanted to do was have people like me. And I realized no matter how hard I did that, I'm being trodden on. People will like her more when she stands and steps up into her power. And I want to invite you to come along to my stand, D44, which is, I think, the last slide on here, and have a chat, because I'd love to connect, even if it's by email. You join my YouTube station, you want to find out how to work with me, whether it is a workshop down in Brighton, that's where I'm based, and you can do a vision board workshop, and my workshops start from about £65, but it's a nice way to get in and get a taster of what I do. And it isn't just your normal paint a picture workshop. You will know a little bit more about yourself. Thank you very much for taking your time to listen to me. I know you could have been listening to anybody else. It's made my day, and it's been an honour to share this with you. I hope you've really enjoyed everything, and if so, come round and talk to me. Thank you.